It's the Blaring Out with Eric Blair show, and today I'm pleased to have Steve and Sam of the band Sinners on my show. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. How's it going?
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about what it's been like here in America for you in the past year.
It's been great. A lot of work because we've been working on the new record that just came out. We've been playing a lot of shows. We've been auditioning and forming new members in the band. It's a lot happened in the past year, especially the past year.
We have also a few music videos that we shot.
What was your youth like before you guys met?
We met at the age of 15.
Okay.
So very, very young, back in France, in a small town in France.
Did you have any adversity before you met each other? Were your lives hard? Was your youth hard, or did you have just a normal youth?
Mine wasn't really normal. It was pretty hard, but I mean, not terrible, but.
What was hard about it?
It just moved a lot from school to school, and just family problems and stuff.
Sam?
Pretty nice. I mean, I was born in Holland, and we moved to France with my family at the age of 6. And then, yeah, we're just in France, and it was nice. I mean, I cannot really complain about my youth.
What led to you guys meeting?
During those years of junior high school, I would basically just go drink at the bar and skateboard instead of going to school, basically. So that's how we met, because she was going to school. She lived out of town, so she had to take the bus or something, and we would hang out and around that bus stop, because it was a pretty, I'm not gonna say famous skate spot, but that was pretty much the only skate spot in town.
It's a small town, very small.
Yeah, I
don't
know,
20,000
people or something. So a really pretty shitty town, no jobs, no
tons of bars.
Yeah, that's all there is,
big
bars.
Alcohol problems.
I mean, we were getting drunk in bars around age 11 or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they let
really?
you.
They allow that?
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I mean, the law once, I think it's 16.
It's supposed to be 16.
But
if you look more than 5, you're good.
Yeah, they let you. They let you drink.
No, but seriously though, yeah.
What, did you enjoy drinking?
Yeah, of course. You're 12, 13 years old. You're we would, at lunch break at school, we would go there and just drink that cheap, dirty ass white wine.
Yeah.
That was probably €2 for a big bottle. And so we would drink that.
It was cheaper than coffee or soda or water, so you'll just take the cheapest thing, and
so sometimes
to be wine.
Sometimes you would forget to go back to school in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because you were drunk. We had to get out of there, so we moved out after that.
Sam, what was your first thought when you saw Steve?
Here's the thing, it's I really like the fact that he was so shy and didn't even want to look at me or something, and I was interested by that, because it was some kind of oh, this is I have to fight for this, and and he was just really shy, and I guess that, yeah.
And then what did you think?
The old chick.
What did you think the first time you saw her?
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, you're a kid, so you 15 years old. That's
so
15 years old.
ago.
You're oh wow, that's the most beautiful girl in town, right? And you don't even it's girls in magazine or something. You don't even think about anything. So one day she came and talked to me. I'm what? Is that some kind of cruel joke, or And I don't know. We started dating, and we've been together ever since. It's 13 years now.
Yeah.
What is it about the two of you? What bonds you?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's we grew up especially when you get 15, so that's where you're gonna have more taste in music, in movies, and everything pretty much. And we grow up on the same things, so we like the same things. We enjoy to go to the same shows. We like the same kind of movies, and it's just yeah, we do everything this way pretty much.
And then how was Sinners born?
That came years after. I was in a band from age 17 to 20, 21, 22.
Two.
And, you know, we started like doing a bunch of shows. We went to the US for like the first time to record an album. And then like doing a few tours a year, nothing major, you know, like still going on tours. And we would miss each other a lot, and we would kind of be miserable. So when we came back from recording the album here in LA, went back to France, and we decided that we were gonna start a band together, and we could go on tour together, and it would be.
So he came up with the idea pretty much, and he's like, well, now you have to choose an instrument. And you have to know how to sing. And I'm like, well, that's two things I don't know how to do. So, I mean, I played the flute, classic flute, when I was little. So I was like, well, I guess keyboard it's the same idea, except flute is this way and keyboard this way. But the you know, the notes the same idea. So I was like, I think that is something that I can definitely learn. And so we started recording. The first song was like on a...
I think that's really what happened, is that I started recording that demo that she's talking about on a computer, like really like, you know, shitty gear and everything.
With
but
the Xbox Micro or something.
Yeah, like with some like video game microphone, like USB micro. It was terrible, but it's actually like the song turned out pretty good. But I recorded during the afternoon, and she comes home, and I'm like, "Can you sing?" She's like, "No." Like, yeah, you're saying, come on, like, and she did, and then that's how we. After that.
That's how it all happened, and then the idea was just to do just a two-piece band, and so just the two of us, like we were
like
thinking,
Sisters of Mercy or something.
Yeah, and then just being two on stage, and then very soon, quickly we realized that it's kind of weird, and you feel very lonely if it's just two. So we decided to add more. Like,
well, we tried out like one of our friends played drums on the record, and we're like, dude, we gotta have drums, you know. So when you hear the song with drums, you're like, it has to be. We need a drummer, really, and like.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of I know some other friends that have bands like that. They want to start with drum machines, and they're like. Then like a few months after, you see them with a drummer, because they're like, yeah, well. It's just better.
It's punchier.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's, and especially for me, I think like drums is, I mean, whenever I go to see any type of show, like I'd go see Iggy Pop, which is probably like one of the best entertainers or something, I'd look at the drummer. That's all I look at during a show, is the drummer. Tell
me about the name Sinners. How was that name? How did that come to be, and what does it mean to you?
When we started, like the duo thing was called S. We're like, hey, that band from LA called X is pretty cool. It's that, you know, let's try S, because it's Steve and Sam, and you know, we have that thing with S. So we started out as S, and then really quick, like, how can we look up your band? We're like, well, just, you know, look online, type S on Google, and then we're on page like 3 billion something. It's like, so it's impossible to like get people to follow you or something like that. And we had that song called Sinner Sinner without the S, so we're like, oh, let's just call it Sinners, because it came from like that Damn 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 album.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the thing. Actually, at first we were gonna be like really, you know, when you start a band, you have all those ideas like, we're gonna be really damned or something. You know, that's how it's gonna sound like. And then you think, oh, this song should sound like more like Slayer or something. And this song, and so you mix all those songs together, and then you're like, all right, well.
That's not the Damn anymore.
Yeah.
A little bit.
What kind of personal significance does the name Sinners have for you personally?
Well, first of all, we're really atheists.
Atheists.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said it. And yeah, it's kind of like, not a joke, but I mean, when we started the band, we had that whole thing with a reverend on the posters and stuff. So it's kind of mockery, a goof, or I don't know, a parody.
Do you think that you're sinners? And that's what you're saying?
Well, we don't believe in religion, so
don't believe in
not
sin?
really. No, I mean we do. If you know the definition of sin is to do pretty much all the stuff we do. Yes, we are, but
Yeah, but no, I don't think for me, the word sinners has like a lot of religious to it, and then that's just not. I'm not religious at all, so.
you can put pretty much anything in sin, right?
Well, sin means missing the mark. Originally, it was when you were shooting an arrow.
Yeah.
When you would miss the bullseye, they would call it sinning.
Okay.
So essentially, what sinning is you're missing the mark, and the mark is what the biblical mark is.
So we're definitely sinners in any
but
way,
we
in
all
any type
are,
of way.
But we all
Yeah.
are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
miss the mark.
Definitely.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So even though some people may say, "Well, I'm not a sinner. I'm perfect." Well, nobody.
No, of course, but
Yeah. So how do you think your new CD 11 differs from 2011's Cardinal Sins?
a lot more work into it. Like our Cardinal Sins was really like a demo that we recorded in our apartment for most of the songs, and we got picked up by Universal. They heard they saw the video for Cadavra or something. They heard the few songs and like, we want you. So we signed that 5-year deal with them that just expired. Thank you.
Publishing.
It was a publishing deal, and I mean, we're finally free. That's why we're releasing our new album now, actually, kind of, because we didn't want to give them too much material, because they would get they would own everything, so we don't want that. We recorded like eight something song as a demo in our apartment, and then we came here to record like 4 more with Nick, that produced, like the same producer that produced the second record. He did 4 of the tracks. And then we got all that together, mixed it pretty as decently as we could with what we had. It was recorded in an apartment, so. And then we sent it to mastering in New York. And that's, it's like, let's just call that an album. It's like a, compilation of demos and like recording sessions or something. When this one was recorded really as a whole record, it took almost a year to do the whole thing. Not because we were at the studio every day, but everything takes time, and it's like, we're not going to be able to like mix for another, we'll see you in 3 weeks or something, and the mastering, the guy's like, I can do that like in 2 months, so a year goes by really quick.
Yeah.
The lyrics too, we worked a lot. Also because we've lived here for like 2 years, so our English was better, improved. And so we worked on that way more than on the first album too. The first album is just like really, really basic English.
Yeah, it's actually, some of it is not even English. When I listen to it now, I'm like, what the fuck were they thinking? Seriously.
I've seen the music videos from that period of your career, and I just think you guys are awesome, because most of your music videos are live from that period.
Yeah.
And you do that girls' school cover.
Yeah.
You guys are spot on. It almost sounds like the Donnas.
Yeah,
it's like
you're not the first one that says that.
Yeah, it's really good. Why did you name the new album 11?
Right around the time when we started, like, I think the recording, or right before that time, when we started saying like, okay, we're doing a new album, writing all the songs, we started seeing 11s everywhere. Like every time you look at your watch, it's 11, or it's like,
something with that number.
11s everywhere. Like you start your car and you see like the number of miles that you've done or something. It's like 11. You're like, holy shit. So.
It's everywhere. That's the only
But like
explanation.
that would happen like 25, 30, 40 times a day.
And when you notice,
to both of us.
Yeah, and then we both notice, and then every time it happens, you're like, oh no, 11 again, and then it just happens all the time.
Kind of stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, after the album was done.
Yeah,
so
when the album was done, it's just stop with the 11s.
About the album, the title 11. Have you guys ever seen the movie Spinal Tap?
Of course, yeah. This one, this one goes. Exactly, that too, because it's also a lot louder than the first one.
That's true. And this
faster.
album definitely goes to 11.
Actually, we were thinking, we did that EP last year, I think. that was a few tracks, 2 tracks from the album 11, and an extra track, Riot, and we were thinking about the idea to call the EP that was called Excuse Our French. We were thinking about calling it, talking about it with our booking agent in Europe, and he was saying, well, we should call this This One Goes To, dots, and then the album comes out 11.
What is the symbolism behind the cover artwork?
When we worked on that cover, it was the time that we played the show with Black Flag. And we had this idea of black and white, just having these 2 colors and being very basic. I think that's where it comes from.
I was like thinking about the artwork, and I was like sitting with you know, on my computer or something, and I'm like, I don't know, 11, and then I tried like fucking around with because I really like the symmetrical kind of things and like. Geometrical shapes, so I don't know, it just kind of came together, and that we ended up with like, you know, sinners in really small on the top, and he almost didn't make it to the cover, and with the inverted cross that a lot of people told us, oh, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, well, we will then.
What does the inverted cross mean to you?
Again, we're like, the whole religious thing is, I think, is really funny. Like for me, it's just a whole joke, but you know, we're not like, we don't play in the name of Satan or anything. It's
yeah, and I mean, it's just kind of maybe to piss people off, but on the other hand, like, we respect people that do believe in religion. They do whatever they want. It's just like, it's not our thing.
Just stop killing people or something. Yeah, it's all this. I don't know, I think religion is really dangerous.
How do you make a marriage work in an industry where there's so much temptation?
It's just the 2 of us all the time. Like we're never separate or anything. You know, it's like we I don't know.
Are you tempted?
No. If like one of us is at a show or something, or like the other one is always in a like 2 feet. A 2 square feet area around, so it's, I mean, you know.
It doesn't even happen.
And we're pretty like shy, and we don't really talk to people. And most of the time, I remember like in France we played that show, and because I guess we're pretty aggro on stage. After the show, those kids came and like, or like kids, not even, you know, they were probably like 18, 20 or something, and they wanted to get their posters, signs or something, but they were like. They were completely scared. That was crazy. Like, we're like, we came and like, hey, what's up? They're like, like, relax, man. Like, we're not mean or anything, you know. We're not gonna punch you. It's just a show, you know. Like, we're nice people.
Yeah.
You know? Let's have a beer or something, you know.
It's all theatrics.
Yeah, and you see that especially in the metal scene, because like honestly, I think like especially the super heavy stuff, like the super metal, or they're like spitting blood or something, or those guys are always like the sweetest guys ever. They're like bears, you know. They like, I know so much of them, like they're super mean on stage and stuff, and they have like that really tiny voice. You know?
Sam, what do you love the most about Steve?
Everything. No, I think no. It's hard to say. He is just my other half. It's just a part of me. So everything is great. I mean, it's crazy how much love he puts into things, and especially this band, and how great we are just together, and how happy we are together, and that's just the best thing.
And Steve, what about you? What do you love most about Sam?
I mean, it's kind of the same, you know, like it sounds cheesy,
Yeah,
but we're still like, after like 13 years, we're still like, I don't know, like goofing around and holding hands and stuff like you do when you're a kid, you know? And I don't know, I think, and it's like probably stronger today after 13 years than it ever was. And it gets, I guess, you know, I'm not really into like, how do you say, belief or stuff like that, but I think the like soulmate thing would like work here as a definition.
Well, anybody that's in your business that has been married for 13 years without any infidelities is a miracle. It really is. So you guys must be soulmates. What inspired the lyrics to Darkness Forever?
So that song is really how do you say that? Not an honor, but
No, it's it's like
tribute,
a homage song
to Turbo Negro.
Oh, okay.
We're big fans, and we were recording this or putting these lyrics, and then the melody came, and then like the only thing we could think of was just the back vocals from Turbo Negro, and we couldn't just help it. And
it's actually that's how we see, like it really sounded like Turbo Negro. So instead of calling it a rip-off song, we'll call it an homage song, tribute song.
Tell me about the lyrics.
I guess just some kind of a journey.
Like epic metal.
Epic metal journey through hell, in the darkness, and that forever.
I don't know, you know, like.
You approach your lyrics with more of a fun type of attitude than a serious attitude. Would that be true?
Yeah, definitely. Well, especially because lyrics come completely last. A lot of bands, they start like writing a song, they start like writing lyrics, and then they put in music. Well, we start with the riff, like do the whole song pretty much. That's going to be the verse, that's going to be the chorus and stuff. And then we're like, all right, well, let's find a melody. Then we find the melody, and like, all right, let's find words for it.
What inspired AFO?
That was supposed to be like all for one, one for all, but that was too long, so it's just AFO, and OFA sounded weird. This one is mostly about like going with the flow, you know. It's kind of hateful, and it's kind of a dick song too, you know, just being mean to those people that, you know, just like follow rules and like whatever, there's a trend, just go with it. Like somebody said that, just go with it or something, and that don't really think by themselves.
Be a sheep.
Yeah.
So the message of the song is more of an attack.
Pretty much all the songs on the record.
All the songs on the record?
Pretty much.
Like Reaction?
No, Reaction is just straight up like, you know, angry pissed off song.
Name 4 things that piss you off.
People that can't park their car right. Religions. People that don't respect personal space. And Morrissey.
Really? You don't like Morrissey?
No, I don't like racist people.
You don't like people that are racist?
I don't like racism. I mean, who likes racism, right?
Yeah.
So Morrissey, you know.
Is he racist?
Oh, like when what do you say in an interview? Like Chinese people are a subspecies or something.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And he doesn't. Well, he played in our hometown like a few years ago, and he's like, oh yeah, this song is about the capital of Pakistan. What is it again? Oh yeah, London. And he talks shit about England because there's too many immigrants, and like England is losing his. I don't know. When it gets like political in. Because that's, you know, the stuff that I'm talking about Morrissey, it's stuff that he does on shows or in interviews. You know, like, I'm sure there's a lot of bands where, like, the guys are total fucking Nazi or something, but you don't know about it.
Yeah, they don't
because they're not going to tell in an interview. Mm-hmm. But he's got the balls to say that Chinese people are subspecies on an interview, you know. Well, I think, like, the interview was about... you know, him being a vegetarian, and he was saying like the stuff that Chinese people do to animals, and so Chinese people are just subhumans.
4 things that piss you off, Sam.
The very high, when people go in these very high sounds, when they're happy or excited, that pissed me off.
Octaves up.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I speak Dutch, I actually do it too, because I was born in Holland, so my voice was like a little girl's voice, and then I do it too. Traffic and the way people drive and park, that's true. Like that's very difficult here, also because I guess
it's a big city.
I'm not used to it, not used to the big city and all that. You know, sometimes you have people in the crowds that are disrespectful towards the band or towards the people at the venue. Or we played the show the other time, and our sound person is a girl. And
when we opened for Black Flag.
it was for Black Flag show, not far from here. And the person that does the security had so much attitude because it was a girl doing the sound. Like things like that pisses me off. It's just very...
He just, he stopped by and he's like, oh, a girl doing the sound, like, I want to see that or something. Like, what a dick.
You know, and she's
And
amazing.
she rocked.
Yes,
so he was like,
absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Opening for Black Flag, what was that experience like for you guys?
That was insane, honestly. Honestly, like the biggest thing that really happened is that it came from Mike Vallely, which is a skateboarder, a pro skateboarder, and for my part, I was like maybe more excited to get to play a show with his band and to get to hang around with this guy than actually Black Flag. You know, it meant more for me because I mean, of course, Black Flag means a lot, but I knew of Mike Vallely before I knew of Black Flag, you know, being like 12 years old or something, and skateboarding. So it was and I don't know, and plus we opened, and the room was packed, like completely packed.
Yeah, and it was probably the best shows in the U.S.
We you know, like looking at behind the curtains like this, and you're like, holy shit. And then we came, we're like, they're gonna fucking hate us, you know, because we're not straight up punk rock, you know, like, and I was like, well, it's Black Flag crowd, they must be like only fucking straight up, you know, punk hardcore and shit. And so like, they're gonna throw us cans and they're gonna hate us.
That's really what we expected.
No, first song, like the mosh pit started like within 2 seconds, we're like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
And the whole thing, like the guys from Black Flag, all super nice. The guys from Mike Vallely's band, super nice. The people that work at the venue were great. The whole thing from we got there maybe in the middle of the afternoon until we left was just a great experience. The whole thing, and which really nice. It
was pretty surreal.
What inspired the song "Imitate"?
Imitate's another dick song. Imitate is about scenes. Basically, it's about like being in a scene. Like you were saying, like you only listen. If you listen to metal, you can only listen to metal. If you listen to punk rock, you can only listen to punk rock. And it's all like, all right, you're in a scene, so you gotta have that whole look, and it's gotta be perfect. You know, you cannot like
deviate.
Yeah, you cannot deviate from that look or that music that you're listening to. So Imitate's really about that.
No hard feelings.
I got fired like a few years ago. I mean, I didn't really give a fuck, but I was like, fuck, I wish I had quit, you know, and not got fired. And we're like, well, let's put it in a setting where it would be like a really important job and my whole life would depend on it or something, and that would be the song.
Eagles of death metal, Boots Electric Architect, Jesse Hughes appears and performs in your music video for the song Reckless. How did that come about?
It's a joke that he did. He did a video for us to announce one of our tour, and at the end of the video he said, yeah, those fuckers forced me to do that video because they blackmailed me because they have that pictures of me sucking a Chinese cock and they're gonna release it if I don't. So that's not true, of course. That's all bullshit. But no, he's our neighbor. Like from 2 houses down.
We're good friends. We know each other since we moved to the U.S., so it's been 4 years.
So we hang out a lot.
He's always down, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and we also ended up being in most of his videos, too, for Boots Electric.
Yeah, we just help each other out. If he needs someone to be in the video, we'll go down, and he's so happy always to help us, too. And just like, just a nice friendship that we have for a few years now, so...
So what's his personality like?
He's the real rock and roll guy.
And he is it all the time, 100% all the time. You know, it's
he's not faking it.
No, he's not faking it, and what's really interesting with Jesse is that he has so many interesting stories and things that just happens, or memories and things, and also a very good culture about like languages and just history. So it's always very cool to hang out, and
he's just like a really, really nice guy too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm very good friend with his girlfriend too. So
who's his girlfriend? What's her name?
Tuesday.
What about whatever happened to Wednesday and Thursday? I'm just kidding. So is she a model? Yeah,
She's a bass player.
Oh, she's a bass
yeah,
player?
because they have this band Boots Electric, and
Okay.
she's the bass player in Boots Electric.
Referring to the song Rise Up, what is your atheist point of view, and what do you think are the horrors of Christianity?
Like the lyrics is the point of view of like, you know, like what you should do as a Christian. So basically, I was raised Catholic. So basically, just like you know, follow the rules. You can kill in the name of God, and you can rape in the name of God, and then, you know, it's fine as long as you confess. You know, God will forgive you, or stuff like that. So that's all. Basically, I mean, if you look back, like Christianity killed more people than anything else. You know, than the Nazis or stuff like that. Like the Crusades were a fucking disaster. Like it's. It's like million kills.
I think one thing that we need to keep in mind is that religion doesn't kill people, people kill
Yeah,
people.
no, I know. But in the name of religion.
But,
of course, yeah.
but we can do it in the name of anything. I think the ultimate expression of you know, wrongdoing is probably what Hitler did.
I don't know, like crowd scares me, and like, you know, like people that have that go one same direction and same way, that like if you don't think by yourself, I think it can get really dangerous, you know.
It's like Ronnie James Dio says in the song, "The mob rules." He says, "If you listen to fools, the mob rules."
Yeah.
And I think you're talking about mob mentality, where
Yeah,
people are just
definitely.
blindly following, and that could be anything.
Yeah.
It can be
it doesn't have to be.
I mean, I know I have plenty of Christian friends that are really good people, and they're like, you know, they're smart about it. They're not like 100% into religion, like how do you say, extremist or?
They're not extremists.
Extremist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have the same point of view. It's just all about what are you doing with religion? Like if you're just smart about it, if you just keep it to yourself, or you know, you're just doing your thing, you believe in whatever you want to believe in. That it doesn't matter. It's great, but as long as you don't encourage a whole a big amount of people to follow you and to do things that shouldn't be done, then it's fine. Just keep it to yourself. It's your thing.
Do you guys believe in a higher power?
Well, I believe David Hasselhoff is above everything, you know. No, I don't know. Not really. I honestly, I don't know. There's like stuff, like kind of, you know, more like superstitions maybe. That deep down, I'm like, you know, sometimes you're like, yeah, you know, this happened because of that, but you're like deep down, you're like, not really, you know.
Karma, maybe.
Yeah, not really either.
Do you believe in a higher power?
No, not really either. I mean, it's just like sometimes deep down you're like, oh, please make this happen, or please make me find a parking spot or whatever. So who are you talking to?
I believe in the parking angel, you know, those little things.
But it's not really higher power, probably not.
If you could collaborate with any rock star, who would it be?
Lemmy.
I was about to say something.
Okay. Okay, good.
Well, if we could, I don't think we could, but we'd love to.
We've met him.
We've
Has he
had
heard
beer
your
with
music? Have you?
We gave him the first record, I think, and I remember like I saw him like months after, and you know, we were with a bunch of friends that knew him, and we actually had beers with him, but like really not just like we had beer 10 feet away from him, like we were talking, we were just like hanging out and having beers and talking with Lemmy. I was like, what the fuck is happening to me, you know? Like, it's fucking, like, wow. Like, I'm glad I moved here, you know? That's something that would never happen in like the shithole of France, you know? But, and it's like, yeah, oh, you're in a band? I'm like, yeah, well, my wife actually gave you or a CD or something. It's like, what is it called? I'm like, oh, so I tell him the title of the album. He's like, yeah, I remember that. I'm like, yeah, right. It's like, yeah, I remember that. I haven't listened to it yet, but it described me the artwork of it's like, it's on my table. It's still like wrapped or something. And, you know, it described me like the album cover. It's like, I'll listen to it. I'm like, Holy shit, he actually didn't throw it, you know. He
on
brought
his
it home.
table.
It's in his house.
Yeah.
Our first album is in Lemmy's house. That's the closest thing we have to a god is Lemmy, actually. We'll see, we follow Lemmy blindly and without questioning. I'm kidding.
That's fine. It makes a great soundbite. Sam, who's your favorite sex symbol?
My husband.
And Steve, who's your favorite sex symbol?
Well, I have to say my wife now.
Okay. What is your mission statement?
We want to be loud. We want to be very loud, and we want to just like keep, you know, playing shows and with like as much energy as we can put into it until we don't have any more, I guess.
Yeah, just having fun, you know. That's all what's it about. Why are you doing music? It's just to have a good time, to enjoy what you're doing.
And it's also good for.
And it's just nice to have, you know, this goal, this thing that you're doing, and you want to share it with people, and you want people to have a good time too. So it's
also really good for anger management, you know.
Who are your favorite female vocalists, Sam?
I really like Nancy Sinatra.
Shocking Blue, like
Shocking Blue, because it's from where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
But,
that's
a good voice too, actually.
That's actually your mom's friend.
Oh yeah,
was
my
the
mom's
singer.
neighbor.
Vocalists that you looked up to?
Iggy. Iggy.
And Iggy.
and like
Lemmy.
Lemmy. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think Lemmy is a great vocalist, but is the
performer.
I mean, it just works perfectly, you know.
What about Ian from Minor Threat?
I was listening to Minor Threat as a kid, cause you know, like we didn't really have a lot of records back home. Like we had a record store in town, but you could get only so much stuff. So one of my friends had like a Minor Threat tape, and I was like, oh well, that's kind of rock, you know. I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that's rad, you know. And it was like. Side A was like Minor Threat, and side B I think was probably like Blur or something like that. You know, so it's like to tell you how crazy, like, and how just like anything was with the guitar at the time was cool, you know.
Sam, who are your favorite style icons?
I'm not really big on fashion, and I just like when things are basic.
How did Cadaver Records come about?
Nobody liked us. No, like I don't know. No, even when we were on Universal as a publisher, so they were trying to find us a home, like a label. So it's like the dude that worked 35 years at Universal calling the label and say, you're signing this band now. And they're like, no, not really. We're not, no, it's like punk rock, no.
Also in France, the thing is like,
Yeah.
they want you to sing in French.
Yeah, and if you play in a rock band, they're
Rock
like,
and
well,
English,
it's never gonna sell.
It's never gonna
Like, of
sell.
course it's not gonna sell, but sign it. It's gonna be cool. They're like, no. And then I guess here we didn't try much, you know. We just, it's too much of a hustle to deal with record label, and like with what we do, we could reach for like, you know, small to medium sized label that right now are like struggling and they don't have any budget. So for us, we're like, well, what if we release it ourselves and just take care of the promo by ourselves? And that's what we did. And I'm sure that most label wouldn't put that much time and energy and money into, you know, promotion, I guess.
How's that worked out for you guys?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't have it seems like it's selling pretty good. We don't have any result before like 2 or 3 months, but
And we
there's
get,
a lot of feedback.
Yeah, great reviews, interviews, and yeah, it's going well.
Where is the money coming from to produce your record and put you guys on the road?
Our pockets.
It's our
But
pocket.
you guys aren't independently wealthy.
No, we're not. I mean, we're not wealthy at all. We're just, you know, we saved a bunch of money and we're doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we live in a 200 square feet back house, so we choose to not. It's kind of like it's about choices. That's life, you know. You choose to put your money in the thing you love to, which we're doing, and we don't care.
And we
that
don't
we're
really
gonna
spend money on
have-
clothes, or we don't spend money on like expensive cars or anything.
No.
We just when we have money, we put it towards the band. You know, it's like buy gear, rent a studio. You know, do like record some songs or stuff. It's
Make a new music video. All these things cost money all
Yeah.
the time. So you just there's always a new project that you need to put money into. But it's a choice.
So you funded the album yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
the first one too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we want to keep it like that also because we want to. I mean, you know, if you're going to be financed by a label, then it's not your music, it's the label music, and fuck that. If you're in a big label, they don't give a fuck about you, and they're not going to work you good, unless you're like a money machine and you do like pop music or something. And if it's a small label, they don't have any budget. And you can't really, you know.
Well, they probably will do as much as we would do by ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick Jodin and Pascal Mondaz. What do they bring to the table as producers?
Pascal, we did the first record with him. We started like recording. He actually helped us. You know, we're like, well, we want to do some songs. We want to do some demos. Can you help us out? Good friend of us. You know, we used to spend like a lot of time drinking together at the same bar. So you know, it just made sense. You know, you have a record engineer and producer friend that you drink a lot with. When you start your band, you're gonna go to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live in the same town. So he wasn't. They got like two different styles of production. Pascal's he's like the guy that's really sweet. He's like, yeah, that was good. We should, maybe you want to do one more take, just to be safe, you know? Like, all right. When Nick's gonna be like, what the fuck was that, really? Do you call that singing? Like, he's gonna piss you off, really. He's gonna, to push you, like, further.
But it's only in a good way, because it's actually, you are upset, but that's actually what he's looking for.
And I don't think he works with you this way. He works with me that way because he probably figured that that's the best way to get it out. But
yeah, he will. Well, he will have me do the same thing over and over, and then just.
But is he gonna be a dick?
No.
No, yeah, right.
No, because
so it's just,
maybe.
I guess, because we're friends and we fuck around a lot. We, talk a lot of shit. So it's.
But he pushes me to do stuff that I would not expect to do or think I could do. So that's a good thing.
Is Mandy Moore a fan?
Where does that come from?
Because on your Twitter, it's like, I'm sending you the CD, Mandy Moore.
I know her.
You do?
I do, and yeah, she's a very, very nice girl, just the sweetest girl, and and as she's always interested in what I'm doing, what we're doing, and so that's why I promised her I will send her a CD. That's where it comes from.
What, do you hang out with her a lot?
No. I just we go to the same place, and that's how we see each other, but we don't hang out on.
Because her husband's a rock star.
He is.
He is, yes, absolutely.
He said he saw our music video and he said, "Oh, you kind of remind me of Social Distortion," and I got so pissed off. Like, really? Fuck! Like, we missed. It's like. We're canceling everything. We're not releasing that song, and we're not releasing that video.
Well, that's a major compliment.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
But everybody's always telling me
like
you look like Mike Ness. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, seriously. I'm trying, and you got that. I'm trying to go for Dave Vanian, and then you got that. So I'm like, fuck, man. Finally.
How would you guys like to be remembered after you're dead?
As way too loud.
Are you living your lyrics?
Some of them.
Yeah, but not that aggressive in a day-to-day life.
Okay.
We're actually pretty quiet people.
If you believed there was a hell, would Hitler be rotting there?
I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
How important is fame to you, and could you live without it?
not very important, because otherwise we would have played something different, I guess, than punk rock.
And what about you, Sam?
not important at all. I actually really don't like that part of the whole thing. When people would like on Instagram be like, "Hey, I saw you guys in Vegas," and things, that creeps me out.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Oh, okay, yeah. And yeah, not a big fan of that.
What brings you the most peace in your life right now?
Since we moved here, everything, like, we getting our shit together and everything, and we're finally in a place that we like, LA, you know, like, I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but you wake up every morning, it's fucking sunny outside, it's, you know, there's like fucking like trees, like palm trees and flowers everywhere all year long. That's pretty easy, you know. Like, there's not much to complain about, which is really hard for me as a French guy, because I want to complain about so much, but it's like, I can't really say anything here, so. And I'm learning to not complain so much, so I guess I'm just like, you know, that's pretty peaceful. I'm just trying to be more of a peaceful person, and
then Sam, what brings you the most peace in life right now?
Just to feel like I have everything I want. A husband, great friends, a band would have fun with. I have enough money to live. I live in a great city. Everything around me is just like, yeah, what you were saying, like you finally get your shit together at some point. So that's peaceful. Like when you have all that, like why would you be freaking out?
We don't have to struggle about, you know, like when we first moved here, was like no money and stuff. Like the band was so hard. Like book a rehearsal and pay for the studio. Like holy shit, like we're broke, right? So like rehearsing and like playing shows, like that's a really important show. You gotta go there and like you gotta put gas and you know you don't have any money and it sucks, right? And then at some point now we're at a point where it's easier and more comfortable when we don't have to like. You know, like we're not gonna cry if we have to spend like $20 on gas or something. It's not gonna be like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm not gonna eat for a week or something. It's like we have enough money to take care of the band and eat. That's fine for us.
So you guys are content.
Yeah.
Good, perfect. What can people expect from your next album?
Something completely different. Like from the song we started writing, it's not even. It's like really like. There's some of those like psychedelic kind of song, you know, like really more into the Doors thing, and there's probably going to be some like heavier stuff too. I don't know. We kind of like try to like take from a bunch of different style and fuck around with it and try to make it fit together.
How do you see your music touching lives on the road?
Honestly, we've only got good feedback after the shows, but again, people that didn't like it are not going to give you feedback. They're just going to get the fuck out. So, you know, you can't really know for sure.
What's next for Sinners?
More shows, new record.
New album, yeah.
Well, I mean, new album. This one just came out, so I think it's pretty safe to say that the next one's going to come within a year and a half maybe, which is very soon for us. Like this one took about 2 years to release. So. But now that we got the recipe and when we know we're going to do it by yourself without wasting time looking for a label or anything, I think it can go fast, you know, and pretty determined to do it.
Steve?
Thanks for having us.
Sam, thank you for being on the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show. You guys rock.
Thank you.
Good people. This is a Blairing Out with Eric Blair show with Steve and Sam of Sinners, signing off.
Out show.